Welcome to Performance Upgrades. I'm your host, Dave Moss. This show is brought to you by SportBikeWrench.com. Performance parts and professional advice. We're here with our Project Gixxer 750, continuing onward. Today, we are going to go ahead and install Galfer's Superbike lines onto our Project Gixxer. Why do you put steel braided lines on? There's a couple main reasons for that. One, heat cycles and old brake fluid really will start to degrade your rubber lines. And over time, most people have noticed that their brake lever gets spongy. So braided steel lines offer a very consistent feel on the lever. They offer absolutely killer performance on the brake lever in terms of feel. And because the lines are steel, they're not going to expand and contract with heat. So whatever you feel the first time you install them, provided you service your brake fluid regularly, will always feel the same. First order of business, we are going to cover the bike in rags. Brake fluid is really aggressive. You don't want it to ruin paint. So if in doubt, use more rags. It will really pay off at the end of the day because you are going to get wet. You are going to get covered in brake fluid. To start the job, we've got a couple things we need to do. We're going to remove the safety clip off our master cylinder reservoir. That's a Phillips screw. Put that out of the way. We're going to go down to our right caliper. We're going to remove here the bolt securing both brake lines from the caliper. And then we're going to drain these two lines into a container we've got just to capture the old brake fluid because we've got to recycle that. We're not going to reuse it. So that's the first thing to do. Now what you'll do is hold these lines and they'll run. Once the cap's off, you release in the vacuum, and you'll hear once the air goes into the system, the fluid will then run out, and that will be pretty much it. So we're done on this line, and the spare line that goes over the top to the left caliper stopped dripping a long time ago because obviously it's a very small line. So we're done here. What we're going to do is put these lines back on with the bolt, but with no washers, just loosely, to secure them because pretty much every bit of fluid is out of these lines at this point in time. Then we'll move to the other side and drain the left side hose independently. Next order of business, we're going to go ahead and remove the bolt to the upper master cylinder, take that out completely. We're going to remove the bolt on the OEM triple clamp that holds the line in place with the guide. Then we're going to take the whole system that we have here and feed it back into the bottle. So whatever's left in the lines will drain into our bottle here. Now that we have 99% of the brake fluid out of the system, we can quite simply remove the lines with very little mess. Once our lines are off, we want to put them somewhere. You can use a plastic Tupperware tray, is usually the best thing. At least then they could sit in there and drain. You can throw them in a Ziploc bag. You can put them somewhere where they won't leak more fluid onto paint or anything like that. So be smart, put them in something that will hold the brake fluid and not damage anything. Now the Superbike line comes with an adapter to each brake caliper. There's a very coarse thread on one side, which is what screws into the caliper, and then there's a very fine thread which screws into the line itself. You need a washer, the adapter, and then you need to put it into the caliper. That's the first thing to do on both sides. We want to go ahead and pre-assemble everything first. So we've got our bolt, our crush washer, then tagged, we've got our right line, crush washer, left line, and crush washer, and then the remaining thread that screws into the master cylinder. Also note that the bends in the lines really help you make sure that the correct line goes in the correct place because they will not stack on top of each other, which is another great feature of these Galfer lines. So now we quite simply screw this installation into place on the master cylinder itself. Next, we're ready to go ahead and route the lines in between the forks and bring them down to the caliper. Again, these are labeled up top, so use the labels to tell you which side, right or left. Once you have the line routed, you can screw the female end onto the adapter. Once it's snug, go ahead and torque it to 6.5 foot-pounds. As per Galfa's instructions, right in the position they want them snugged.